Storm, a state of emergency across Florida. Residents lining up for gas, supplies, and sandbags. When will it hit and where? We just got the latest update. Rob Marciano standing by. Also new tonight, the DOJ saying former FBI Director James Comey violated FBI policies in his handling of memos about President Trump. The Justice Department declining to prosecute, why Comey says he's the one who's owed an apology. The growing alarm about vaping as one American city urges everyone to stop immediately. The sharp rise in the number of severe lung injuries. What do we really know about the safety of these products? The school bus scare. A child nearly struck when a driver blows past the bus with its stop sign extended. The warning from that mother to other parents. Escaping the volcano, a massive eruption throwing lava, rock, and ash into the sky, then raining down as nearby tourists flee. Out of control, the hot air balloon bouncing off the ground, the pilot and a passenger thrown from the basket. And America Strong, Alex Trebek is back for a new season of Jeopardy amid questions about his cancer fight. Tonight, his message to fans.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
And good evening. It's great to have you with us on a busy Thursday night. I'm Tom Yamas, in for David. And as we come on tonight, all eyes are on Dorian. It could now be a Category 4 storm when it slams ashore. Here's the latest storm track with landfall shifting slightly to the south. You can see that right here. But all of Florida is now in a state of emergency and parts of Georgia as well. Dorian already hammering the U.S. Virgin Islands on St. Thomas, roofs blown off, and an island-wide blackout left behind. More than 17 million people on the U.S. mainland now bracing for impact. Long lines at gas stations, some already drained dry. A run on lumber to protect windows from the fierce wind. And the race to meet the need for bottled water. People being warned to stock up with several days' supply. Tonight, Dorian is shaping up to be one of the strongest hurricanes to strike the Florida coast in years. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano starts us off tracking it all from Florida. Rob, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Hurricane Dorian now about 800 miles from here over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean with a lot of warm water and time to get better organized, and it's doing just that. Here's a satellite picture. You can see it, 85-mile-per-hour winds sustained. It has tropical storm force winds that range about 120 miles across, but it's heading into an area that has low wind shear and warm waters. That combination is going to allow it to strengthen potentially rapidly. That high pressure is going to scoot it off to the west toward the U.S. So here's the forecast track with timing. It has slowed a little bit so that by Sunday afternoon, maybe early Monday, it's just off the coastline as a Category 4 storm with 130 miles an hour winds, likely making landfall Monday or Tuesday. But a lot of uncertainty here. There are two most reliable computer models. The European model and the American GFS are completely different. The GFS comes here and then goes north. The European goes towards Miami and then scoots up the coastline. So we'll hope to get better grasp on this tomorrow. They're going to launch extra weather balloons tonight, more recon aircraft, so the confidence in the forecast should increase tomorrow. But one thing is for sure, a high-impact storm is likely to come to Florida, so residents here need to be prepared over this weekend. Tom?
Rob Marciano and his team tracking all that storm. As we said, Florida is in a state of emergency tonight as Hurricane Dorian barrels towards the mainland. People are already waiting in long lines for gas and water and other supplies. ABC's Gio Benitez is in Miami tonight with the rush to get ready.
Tonight, worried residents are lining up across the entire state of Florida, snapping up supplies.
Good morning.
Outside this Lowe's near Orlando before dawn, racing to get generators, and long waits for fuel at this Tampa area Costco. This is what we're seeing all across South Florida, people preparing for this storm, loading up that plywood to board up their homes. At this Miami Home Depot, we met Jose Noriega buying 26 sandbags.
Obviously planning for the worst possible, but hoping for the best.
Dorian tore through the U.S. and British Virgin Islands Wednesday, winds gusting above 110 miles per hour, ripping this roof to pieces. And tonight, it's getting stronger by the minute. Florida's governor today telling residents the time to prepare is now.
You should have 7 days of food and medicine and water.
With more than 17 million people, nearly the entire state of Florida in the cone of uncertainty, mass evacuations are likely.
It's mind-boggling because nobody knows exactly where this storm's going.
Hurricane hunters flying inside Dorian, trying to track the storm's every movement. At the Kennedy Space Center, NASA using this crawler to move a 400-foot tall mobile launcher out of harm's way. Florida Power and Light bracing for outages. Some 15,000 transformers on hand, 5,000 crew members standing by.
We are ready, we're prepared, and we will address all the outages as they happen.
Dorian now potentially the strongest hurricane to strike Florida's east coast since Andrew, a Category 5 in 1992. The last Category 4, Irma, in 2017, first making landfall in the Florida Keys, packing winds of 130 miles per hour.
Andrew and Irma leaving back so much devastation. Gio joins us now live from Home Depot in Miami. Gio, the storm's still several days away from making landfall, but there are still questions about where it will hit. But from what you're seeing right now, some people seem to be taking this very seriously.
Oh, they sure are, Tom. This is a very busy store right now. And take a look at these shelves behind me, because some of them have just emptied out because so many people are buying this plywood to board up their homes. The manager here says he hasn't seen it this busy in years. Tom?
The rush is on. All right, Gio, thank you. And of course, Hurricane Dorian is arriving just ahead of Labor Day, disrupting a busy travel weekend. A record 17.5 million passengers were set to fly over the next few days, with millions more planning to drive. Tonight, their plans could be changing. ABC's Kaylee Hartung is at the airport in Jacksonville, Florida tonight. Kaylee.
Tom, all the major airlines are issuing travel waivers starting tomorrow for flights into Florida's big airports like the one here in Jacksonville. But the impacts of Dorian as it approaches will be felt far beyond this state. Throughout Florida, airports are securing equipment, the military safeguarding planes too, and the Coast Guard, they're strapping down boats. But the big question for the millions who live here is what will happen on the state's major roads. Officials trying to avoid a repeat of some of the traffic nightmares that happened in the lead up to Hurricane Irma. So crews are clearing up construction along the roadways in advance of any potential evacuation orders. Tom?
Kaylee Hartung for us tonight. Kaylee, thank you. We turn now to a big story out of Washington. The results are in from the investigation of former FBI Director James Comey by the Department of Justice Inspector General. The finding that Comey violated FBI policies for his handling of some memos. But the DOJ has declined to prosecute. Tonight, the president is calling Comey thoroughly disgraced, while Comey says he's owed an apology. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, in a blistering report, the Justice Department's Inspector General says former FBI Director James Comey violated FBI policy by disclosing details of a controversial memo to the media laying out concerns about President Trump.
He asked specifically of loyalty.
Those misgivings led Comey to write a series of secret memos, including one alleging that President Trump wanted him to go easy on former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn for lying about contacts with Russia.
I was honestly concerned that he might lie about the nature of our meeting.
Comey was so worried about the president, he provided the details of one of the memos to the press.
I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
The Inspector General bluntly says Comey was wrong to secretly keep his memos and to leak. Writing, Comey set a dangerous example for the over 35,000 current FBI employees. Today, President Trump tweeted that Comey should be ashamed of himself and that the Inspector General's report leaves him disgraced and excoriated.
He gave it to a friend to leak classified information. He did an illegal act.
But the Inspector General, while sharply critical of Comey, did not find that he gave any classified information to the press, and the Justice Department chose not to prosecute.
ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas joins us now from DOJ headquarters. And Pierre, Comey responded today in a tweet after the report was released, and he was defiant.
Tommy really was defiant, pointing out there was no evidence that he leaked classified information, and that while he did not need a public apology from those claiming he had done so, he said they should think about sending him a message saying, "Sorry, we lied about you." If he's referring to the president, Tom, I don't think that apology is coming.
Pierre Thomas for us tonight. Pierre, thank you. Next, warnings about possible health risks from vaping spreading tonight as the number of people suffering from lung disease after using e-cigarettes continues to grow. There are special warnings for teens and young adults. ABC's Clayton Sandell reporting tonight from Colorado, where teen vaping is soaring.
Tonight, Colorado officials are sounding the alarm about the risks of vaping on developing young lungs.
Nobody's for sure what's in these products or what they're putting into their bodies or how it might affect their health.
The state with the highest rates of teen vaping now reporting 2 new cases of sudden and severe lung illness. The CDC already investigating about 200 cases of lung illnesses among users of e-cigarettes across at least 22 states, many of them in teens and young adults. The city of Milwaukee now urging people there to stop using e-cigarettes altogether.
I thought vaping was fine. I did all the tricks all the time.
18-year-old Maddie Nelson says she vaped for 3 years before winding up in a medically induced coma with a lung illness.
It's very scary because the doctors don't know the long-term effects of this.
She says she still needs oxygen at night. Here in Colorado, one lawmaker now vowing to push Congress to ban the sale of vaping products to anyone under 21.
These products are just simply not safe for anybody under 21, and we have real health concerns about their safety for anybody at this point.
Experts say it's important to note that while these cases are associated with vaping, the exact cause is not proven. Possible culprits include the vaping process itself, the substance inhaled, such as THC oil. That, of course, is the main chemical in marijuana, or some combination. Tom?
Clayton Sandell for us tonight. Clayton, thank you. Now to the race for 2020. Frontrunner Democrat Joe Biden under scrutiny tonight for a story he often tells on the campaign trail about pinning a medal on a serviceman in Afghanistan. But there are questions tonight about how much of that story Biden got right. Here's ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran.
For years, Joe Biden has been recounting a story of American heroism and heartbreak on the front lines, recently telling a crowd in New Hampshire how he traveled to Afghanistan to pin a silver star on a young Navy captain.
One of his buddies got shot, fell down a ravine about 60 feet. This guy climbed down the ravine, carried this guy up on his back under fire, and the general wanted me to pin the silver star on him.
And then a moving moment as Biden approached with the medal.
It's the God's truth. My word is a Biden. He stood at attention. I went to pin him. I said, sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir. Please, sir. Do not do that. He died. He died.
But the Washington Post dug into the story and determined Biden got the time period, the location, the heroic act, the type of medal, the military branch, and the rank of the recipient wrong, as well as his own role in the ceremony. Biden seems to have conflated several events. Kyle White, the serviceman he describes, an Army specialist, not a Navy captain, was actually presented with the Medal of Honor by President Obama in Washington, D.C. But the vice president did pin a medal on a different man in a different part of Afghanistan for a different act of valor, Army Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Workman, who tried to rescue a fellow soldier from a burning vehicle. Workman telling the Post he did say to Biden then, "I don't want it." He died. And Workman adds Biden looked him in the eye and said softly, "I know you don't."
Terry Moran joins us now from Washington. And Terry, Joe Biden is responding to this story tonight.
That's right, Tom. He's in South Carolina campaigning. He told reporters there that, quote, the central point of the story is, quote, absolutely accurate, that a young soldier did try to refuse a medal Biden was pinning on him. Biden trying to make the argument there that's what counts, the heroism and heartbreak, not so much the details. Tom?
Terry Moran for us tonight. Terry, thank you. And another major update in the race for president. Tonight, Joe Biden and 9 other Democrats have qualified to take part in the 3rd presidential debate. ABC News is hosting, and it will be the first debate with all the leading candidates together on one night. The vice president will be at center stage. You see it right there, flanked by Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Senators Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Amy Klobuchar will be there, along with Julian Castro, Beto O'Rourke, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and businessman Andrew Yang. The debate 2 weeks from tonight, that's Thursday, September 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC. We head overseas now tonight. A powerful volcano erupting in Italy, sending residents and tourists racing away. The incredible moment, you see it here, caught on video. That's lava and smoke rushing down the hillside and into the water, catching boaters by surprise. ABC's James Longman with the stunning images.
Face to face with nature's fury, the island volcano of Stromboli near Sicily erupting right in front of this tour boat. As it blackens the summer sky, you can hear screams from those on board. And as the boat speeds away, a plume of hot ash shoots out over the water towards them. Other boats nearby also capture the smoke cloud, rising more than a mile into the air, even visible from space. This is the volcano's 2nd recent eruption. In July, hot ash and rocks rained down on tourists and locals, killing one hiker. The 400 or so people who live on the island